this is something that they think would even work better with children out there. I mean, they're not testing it out on adults, but kids are going to love this.
How to get superpowers or explore Grease Pit's mysterious hatch? Which one we doing?
There's going to be so many stoners watching this.
That guy's doing a horrible Antonio Banderas
really
impression.
I'm gonna go left and right, kids.
Wait, what? Which way? Right now? What'd you say?
Oh, Martin, let's go ahead and get into a little something. I would say something different, but we're starting to do this a little bit more now. Talking about them Netflix movies out there. And I want to talk about
Cumberbatch.
I want to talk about Crash Bandicoot, whatever. What's it? Bandersnatch. Yeah. Called BD from that once.
Don't recommend it.
I want to talk about this new thing that Netflix is doing, something that, what a lot of people think is new, but really isn't. And I want to talk about Netflix in general. Everybody's talking about this new interactive movie that they have out,
right?
And we're going to review that, but we're going to make this a little bit more other than about the movie or the review. Being that it's an interactive movie, I like to talk about a little bit of the history of interactive movies, but interactive cinematic movies. I'm not talking about interactive video games.
Okay.
And also talk about Netflix itself. I got some strong feelings about Netflix right now.
Do you?
Yeah, I sure do, man. I want to air them out to the people at this moment. Got some very strong feelings about Netflix at this moment, but we'll get into that in a little while. Let's talk about some of the good things that Netflix has done, and one of those is bringing us a lot of good original series. And one of the most interesting concepts and one of the series that I absolutely love is Black Mirror. And Black Mirror, I love it because, it's a very innovative Twilight Zone for the tech savvy age.
Sure.
But the difference is we're in Twilight Zone where things seem fantastical and distant into the future. Black Mirror takes it and makes it seem uncomfortably close. Makes it seem like that shit is just next week. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they're doing now, they tap into tech that's already here. And it's tech that most people can't even do without. And they said, you know what? Let's go ahead and integrate that into an actual episode. Bring it even closer to you, putting it right there in the palm of your hand. And that is what they're doing with their new series, Bandersnatch. And Bandersnatch has been making the news because it is, at least for Netflix, their first interactive series. And if you've ever played read a choose your own adventure book, or if you've ever played like an adventure game on your computer, it's just taking it to a whole other level. This is an actual movie that you control. You decide the fate of the main character that we have here. And the main character is a video game developer in the 80s who starts hearing voices and making decisions that aren't his, or at least he thinks they might not be his. And is it because he's working too hard, or maybe he's just being fucked with by a bunch of people watching him on a certain popular streaming service? Martin, who knows? Crazy in this world of Black Mirror. We're going to come back with the review for this and go into our other discussions after we watch the trailer for Bandersnatch, and we'll be back with our review. Martin, I know a lot of people want to hear what we have to say about this film, but before we do that, I think it's kind of important to talk about the history of interactive films, which, as I was saying before, not really anything new. I mean, it's been going on for decades, and it's been going on in many forms. Some people would say that some of the games that you've played are interactive movies. Dragon's Lair. It's already pre-made. It's an animated film. It's an animated film with different outcomes and different small chunks and segments.
Now, are there different paths, or is it just you do this correctly or you die?
No, for some situations there are different paths.
Okay.
And even dying is considered to be sort of a different path.
Okay.
That you do. I mean, like I said, it's very basic, but I mean, we've seen that with text-based video games. You know, we've seen it with CD-ROM games back in the day where you had different choices.
Yeah, it just seems like the basic components of video games and choose-your-own-adventure books.
Yeah, exactly. And this is one of the first times that I was kind of amazed by that, because it does what a lot of, I mean, and even if you don't see it that way, it's kind of using the same technology that a lot of these things do that you've seen, where when computers came into play, it was just information stored on different parts of the computer, and the computer was just by your actions told to go that different path. And you know, but that's a video game. I mean, you know, like I said, CD-ROM games and Laserdisc and all kind of stuff is nothing new. But you know, cinematically, it's a whole different story. And you're going to be hearing different things as this becomes more popular with Netflix. At least the interactivity of these movies, because you're going to hear people talking about, yeah, Netflix ain't nothing. I was the first to do that. You know, man, I'll put that shit on the screen way before Netflix thought about doing this. And there are movies out there that will tell you, yes, back in 2016, did a little movie called Late Shift. This is where they put this on the screen, and you had to use your phone to watch the movie. Your phone always had to be on, and there were prompts that came up on your phone, and you voted for your character to do, the character that you see on the screen to do certain actions.
Send help. Frank? No, of course I'm not fucking Frank. Send help.
You know, and it looks very slick too. So slick. I don't know if you want me making decisions for that. I'm gonna make a lot of bad decisions and waste y'all money. But also, it's very dark, and that's something that's really cool about these interactive movies. Is what it's bringing out in people. You know, it's amazing how when you get people, even when they have to vote together in a room, because that's how it is. It's not you get your choice. You're voting.
Oh, okay.
And the most popular vote is what the outcome is.
Okay.
A lot of times when people do this, people are sick, man. People just want to kill everything.
Well, they just want to see something happen.
Well, you eat a hamburger or a hot dog? Where's the murder button?
Can I kill the hamburger?
I'm gonna kill the fuck out that hamburger. You know, people. It really does bring out a darkness in people, but at the same time, you know, again, it's also where people want to see the most. It says something about entertainment. People want to see the most exploitive thing to happen. Mm-hmm. Now, if darkness is not your thing, or gritty action, you know, before that, and I'm sorry, Late Shift, but somebody was before you. And at that time, it was a comedy. I don't know if you remember, back in 1996, they had and it made the news for a little while, but it didn't catch on as quickly. It was a movie called I'm Your Man, and I think it was kind of short too. I'm Your Man was very funny, or at least they were going for a comedic tone, and even with the marketing of it, that's how they presented it. They had sort of like they were very aware. They treated it almost like in the 50s when 3D was coming about, or smell-o-vision.
Yeah,
you know, those gimmicks that people were doing for sci-fi and horror movies at the time.
Don't go in that door! No!
Fun, but far from satisfying. You'll be seeing a lot more of these. Go ahead and press the button in front of you to activate your console.
And they had consoles in front of people in the theater. And it was kind of a expensive thing to kind of pull off too.
Sure.
For something that was kind of a fly-by-night gimmick for films. The other thing with this is that wasn't really all that good either.
Jack Beener. Jack's just a modern guy looking for a little fun and romance. What he doesn't know is that he's dressed completely wrong for the downtown party he's on his way to. She's meeting an FBI agent tonight.
It was a little cheesy, and like I said, it was short. And it wasn't the strongest material.
More of an experiment than anything.
Yeah, it was. It really was more of an experiment. It wasn't the strongest material. And you're like, well, then, you know, I was back in 1996. They were the first ones to do it. No, they were not. No. Martin, this can go back all the way to the 60s. I think maybe it was 1966. there was a Czech film that was experimenting with an interactive movie. It was called Kino Automat, and this was this really did put you in, like, they tried to put you in the most bizarre situations. You know, like, hey, you're a married man, and the you know, what happens when the half dressed naked woman comes over to your hotel room?
Better come in.
It's like, what choice did you make? Well, you got bukkakied and blown up. You know?
Wow.
I actually want to play that.
Haven't you already, though?
I have, man. Live to do it again. And you know what? I never make a wise choice. I'm always making the bad one. You know, this was early, so the technology that you see later with these things not around. So they actually had to physically stop the film, and they would have somebody come out on stage.
Change the reels?
No, they would have somebody come out on stage and ask, okay, so what happens next? Let's take a vote. So they pretty much just asked people to raise their hands, and they took a tally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was something that they were that they were just trying at the time with what they had. They weren't taking it too seriously. But, as I said, this concept goes back a while. Now, the biggest drawbacks of it is that, like in the case of Late Shift, you don't get a choice to make. You know, everybody, it's not yours.
Right. You're contributing.
Yeah, you kind of feel gypped when you don't get your decision.
Sure.
made.
Plus, for all you know, it's like Mr. Sardonicus, where they only shot one path, and they're just like, oh, everybody voted this way.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Or you need to have extra devices.
Yeah.
You need,
Oh, yeah.
You know, like we're saying, you know, you need a phone, or the movie, or like we said, the movie just stops and it's interrupted by somebody having to come out and take a vote. You know, it's never been
A smooth process.
It's never been a smooth process, or like I said, you're just with a dark audience with a bunch of assholes that just want to, like, they don't want a story, they just want to destroy everything. Right. But that is what you know, that's what I love about Bandersnatch, man. I think with Bandersnatch, going into the review now, Bandersnatch is the first time that I have seen it. Now, maybe some other people out there have seen it done better. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with this, so I will tell you I'm a little ignorant in that area. But for me, this is the smoothest that I have ever seen it done before. You know, they give you a choice to make, and the choice, you get two, and they're at the bottom of the screen. You get about 5 seconds to make your choice.
Yeah.
But when you do, nothing stops. It is a natural edit. It is a flow that keeps going. The movie feels like it never stopped for anything. And they know how to pause it just right so that, you know, while you might be thinking about your decision or trying to make the decision, they film it in a way that feels natural to the film. At least for me, you know, I don't know what your experience is like, because I know there's been a lot of people out there having different opinions about this, and that's fine, because everybody's not into this kind of thing.
I didn't have glitches per se, but you know, there were those moments where it's like, hey, choose one of these two cassette tapes to play, and whichever one you choose, the next scene is just him on a bus grooving with his Walkman on, and the music's playing. I was like, okay, that could have been either one. They didn't have to shoot anything extra for that.
It seems like that, but it does lend itself to decisions that, you know, a decision that's going to affect how the path goes later on. I know it seems like it doesn't. There's been, you know, small things like, like what cereal do you want to eat? Mm-hmm. You know, those, they actually have some influence on the story, whether they're big path deciding decisions or just little small things that you see within the story that just maybe visual things. But, you know, I think also these kind of things are better done when it's an intimate moment.
Yeah.
You know, this is made more intimate by watching it on maybe your computer, your iPad, your iPhone, or your TV. You have a choice of watching it with other people. But I do like being, immersed into this story myself, making my own decisions. I watched it on my iPad, and I had a great time doing that with it.
Yeah, I watched on my Android tablet.
Okay, how was it for you?
That's fine.
Okay. No.
I mean, just the watching it went very well.
Yeah. But you're saying,
no
okay,
complaints.
that's cool, but Corey, let's just admit it for what it is, man. It's still a gimmick. What if I just want to watch an episode of Black Mirror and I don't want to deal with all this bullshit that's going on? And good point. And I don't know what you thought about the story, Martin, but look, definitely not the strongest episode of Black Mirror.
That's the thing. I thought that when it was all said and done, if you just laid it out without the gimmick, it would have been a mediocre episode of the show.
And you see, you're right. But that's also the thing that does work with it is that it's not the best episode as a standalone, but they did design it to work with the interactivity.
Yeah. It does a fine job of that.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what I liked about it. That you have a character who and I forgot the guy's name. He was in Fine Whitehead. He was Dunkirk. Thank you. I like that his character is trying to decide if he's hearing voices or not. And I don't want to say anything, but you playing along with this adds to his paranoia. And I thought that was a great thing to do for something that relies so much. They are very much well aware that, this is the whole thing that people are going to be looking at is deciding what this character does.
Sure.
And with the story, they made that part of the story. They wrote that into the character, and it's tailored around the character, possibly being controlled by the viewer or going crazy. If you notice if you watch this, you're gonna notice how fast things move. Even the title itself is kind of a reference to going down the rabbit hole. Bandersnatch. Bandersnatch is a creature from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and that's a Peter Noyle illustration right there. But which very appropriately titled because you are continuously, frantically going down this rabbit hole with this character, trying to decide what is the right decision to make. But I like how they made it, how quickly it flowed. It is so frantic that it does add to this person actually going crazy. And they work that in well with the decisions that you have to make for them. And also you keep doing things over and over again, which adds to this person losing his mind. For the tone that they've developed here, in the flow that they have going with it, which again is very fast, very insane, almost has a time travel element to it. I thought for me that worked well, and here's the thing that really keeps it from getting too dark or going in and pushing you away from what they're doing here, because they know that they're trying something, and depending on what path you take, they don't take themselves too seriously. I ended on a story where what I chose, I laughed out loud with the path that I took. Uh-huh. It got so crazy with what I did. It turned into a comedy.
Yeah, same here, and I didn't like that.
You didn't?
No.
See, I love that, man. I laughed so hard when they did that, and it starts early. And it kept drawing me in, adding to the comedy element that was going on. I enjoyed that, man. But apparently, it sounds like you didn't enjoy this a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a painful experience, and I certainly do appreciate what went into it and how well they covered their bases. Because I'm so used to it being a gimmick that's only kind of half-assed. They get enough to all right, you got my money. And now you don't really care on delivering. And it's like, a lot of work went into making this a complete experience. But ultimately, I thought, as fun as this was for just a gimmicky thing, enjoyment-wise, I just enjoy watching a regular, well-done episode than having to jump through these hoops.
Yeah, we'll see, and that's what it comes down to. Do you want to sit back and just watch, or do you want to be involved? I didn't mind being involved, and it's a lot worse ways I think they could have done it.
Definitely that. Because
at the same time, I got things that were really fun narratively. Like I said, it can get really funny, or it can get really dark. Actually, I had a chance to end my story on a very funny note. I went back and took the option to go back and keep going on with the story, and it went to a very dark place. So at least I got two endings with mine.
There are times I felt that I got pushed into a dead end. Like I was in a corner, because even when I got through, I was like, all right, let's give me a chance to back up. Mm-hmm. Let me try this other path. And I would still go right back where I was. I was like, well, God damn it, I don't want to start from the beginning and do this all over again.
So you don't start over. That's they pushed me back and then I took some different areas. I admired the the story tree that they have worked out. It really does go into a lot of places, more places than you imagine. And people out there, they still don't know. They people putting up endings and people like that ain't all.
Right, that's not,
yeah, no,
that ain't my ending.
Yeah. But wait, there's more. I still got the Easter eggs in there. The Black Mirror's been going on long enough to where you will spot references to other episodes. One is very obvious, Metalhead right there. But there are, I spotted about, I'm sure there's more. I spotted about 3 others that if you've been watching the series, then you know, but they don't do any big references to them. They're in the background. You have to look for them yourself. I thought. And again, I thought the actors sold it well because it depends on how because the actors are in something that's outlandish almost, and while I say that this doesn't take itself too seriously, I always say no matter what your material is, if you have actors that kind of like sell it seriously, for what they're supposed to do. They do. Will Poulter.
Yeah, Will Poulter's always great.
Will Poulter, he plays a legendary game developer in the movie, and this guy is continuing to amaze me with his range. Man, he is always a different person.
Right.
Every time I see him, I'm still gonna whoop your ass if I see you for Detroit. I'm still mad about that shit. Now, him and Michael Fassbender.
Fassbender, yeah.
Michael Fassbender. I'm gonna beat his ass and I'm gonna fuck him. but Will Poulter, amazing actor, man. He's come such a long way. You remember being that kid?
I remember being that kid from
the Rambo movie.
Oh God, I always forget about Son of Rambo.
Son of Rambo, yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I was thinking about Meet the Robin, not Meet the Robinsons.
Willard Millers.
Thank you.
Might as well Meet the Feebles. Maze Runner. Yeah, he's an incredible actor, man. But I tell you, Fionn Whitehead, man, great job. I mean, he sells it. I felt for this guy. He's so crazy. He is slowly losing his mind, and he was scaring the shit out of me, man. I felt it's a combination of he does such a good job. It's a combination of feeling fear and sympathy for him at the same time. Where he goes, I hear okay. My judgment of success on this project is: do I want to go back and possibly try it again for some other things? And I don't expect everybody to have the answer that I do, which is yes. I do want to go back and I don't want to spend the next week on it, but I wouldn't mind spending another hour playing with this and seeing where it goes. I know that there's a lot of other things out there. The rest of them I can go look at that on YouTube, but I wouldn't mind discovering another couple of because there were parts where I said I wonder if I did this and didn't do it, and now I want to go back and do that. But I can understand if other people don't, because Marley, well, I'm done with that shit. Marley, well, tell me what you find. I'm gonna be living life.
Well, I feel so under the gun by all the great TV shows that I'm barely have a chance to watch. So I was like, if I keep spending more time just rewatching the same one.
Here you are playing Groundhog Day with one show. No, I get it. I do want to go back. I think that this has potential.
It does. I do like it, and I don't mind it ever so often. It's not I don't look at it and go like, this is how I want to start watching TV from now on. I'm like, no.
But a lot of people see this is what I don't like. I'm not saying this is you, but some people, man, I don't want to be watching my TV like this. Well, you don't have to. They ain't making every show like this from now on. They're making them for specifically designed shows for specifically those people that want to watch them. And they're doing a big initiative with this Netflix. They're really pushing it in the kids interactive area. They got a Puss in Boots interactive movie that's coming out, and I think there might be some other things, and this is something that they think would even work better with children out there. I mean, they're not testing it out on adults, but kids are going to love this.
How to get superpowers or explore Grease Pit's mysterious hatch? Which one we doing?
There's going to be so many stoners watching this.
That guy's doing a horrible Antonio Banderas
really
impression. Good Lord.
What if it is Antonio Banderas? He's just drunk right now.
Hey, we're gonna go left to right, kids. Wait, what? Which way?
Right now? What'd you say?
Do I think that this could work? But as a movie, yeah, I do, because I think that a lot of people thinking being interactive is going to take you out of it too much, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I actually think it could work. One of the best games I've ever played is an interactive game. It was out of all the great games I played that year with all the great graphics and big worlds.
Of all the great games, of all the great graphics.
Of all the games I played before. This one was my game of 2012. And why? Because it had my ass crying.
Run! You don't know who these people are. They could be dangerous.
Whoa, take it easy. Just want to help.
This was
That was 2012?
That was Telltale Walking Dead, 2012.
Wow, I didn't realize that it was that long ago.
Yeah, it was a bunch of quick time events and just choosing a choice out of 4 options, and very simplistic.
That's the thing I kept expecting with this, because it always cracked me up with Walking Dead. You're like, okay, I'll pick this. It plays out, and it goes, they're gonna remember you did that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
Game like, I ain't gonna forget this bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, man, I think that this is something that could be successful as we go on, and it is something that you're probably going to see more as technology allows it. 20th Century Fox. I'm looking at theverge.com. 20th Century Fox is making a choose your own adventure film based on the choose your own adventure books.
Oh, cool.
Those books were fucked up too, man. They were kids'
some
books.
of them, yeah.
They were it was like Saw for kids, but with real death. I played one where I was in the sand. I was out in the desert, and it told me that I made a choice, and it told me I got lost, and a sandstorm came through, and it described how the sand was brittle enough to just wipe the flesh from my bones. So I was like, God damn. Threw that book out the window. I don't want to die. But this brings me to my last point, what I was talking about with Netflix, when I said, man, I got some choice words for Netflix right now, which is Netflix is amazing me at this moment. Netflix, I think, is, look, best, that can be argued, but I truly believe that it is the most important streaming service that's out there right now, considering everything that they've been doing lately. Now, I know y'all talking about,
Wait till the mouse gets out there.
Uh-huh. No, they said, wait, then bitches ain't got Game of Thrones over there. I know y'all talking about how everybody can't wait for Game of Thrones. Westworld is popular with a lot of people. HBO's been in the game for a long time. And yes, Martin, you nailed it. That mouse put that streaming out there, that Disney Plus. They got the Marvel shows that are coming up and a few other things that are very popular. Star Wars shows. Yes, I know. Netflix can't compete with that. What you talking about? Most important. Then you got your Hulus out there and other services, Showtime. Everybody got their own stream. Amazon's got their service out there. Yes, maybe they have programs that you like better, but I do think that out of all those things that are out there, that are giving you entertainment, that you can't get anywhere else, exclusives and everything like that, Netflix came in and said, yeah, but for most of y'all, especially you art people out there, I saved your life.
I saved your life. I saved your life. Go. You now have something that stands for you. It has put the weapons of this war back in your hands of youth.
And, that's Beast of No Nation. Beast of No Nation was one of the first ones where it showed just the thing that Netflix has that these other, in my opinion, it can again be argued that Netflix has that all these other studios and streaming services don't have. They are hungry. Netflix is almost like that nerd that's been bullied and just said enough. Netflix been working out,
right?
Netflix is looking good, got handsome, and got beautiful, and now they want to be taken seriously.
They don't want to we're gonna bring home a statue.
Yeah, I mean, just that hunger of being taken seriously. We all remember the Netflix when they were showing Netflix had the crumbs of everybody else. Netflix said, I want the main course now. I want a full gourmet meal. And Netflix is hungry to be taken seriously. In that hunger, they are the ones who are pushing the possibilities of streaming. With things like Beast of No Nation that we saw right here, that was the first one that came out and said, man, we just ain't looking to entertain. Shit, we want to win.
Yeah.
We want to be taken as seriously as any theater that is out there. We want to compete. But other streaming services are trying to compete with other streaming services. Like, nah, we're going after those big motherfuckers. We're going to punch the biggest person in prison. and they want to compete for an Oscar. Ambitious, man. You know what? And they are continuing that. Did you ever see Buster Scruggs? Because they're getting talent like the Coen brothers.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you got top talent like the Coen brothers bringing things over there and bringing stuff that is considered to be top Academy Award contending material. They have a big shot right now with Roma. Roma, it has this probably the biggest chance they have at winning an Oscar more than ever before. This whole thing of theaters fighting them to keep them out has never stopped them because, for one thing, they were never scared. They said, you know what, we're just gonna keep making good material. The material will speak for itself.
Yeah.
They are more ambitious than anything out there. Even when they're not going for Oscars, they have material that they are trying that probably a studio doesn't want to take a chance with. We were just talking about Bird Box. Bird Box is something a studio might not want to take because they can't show certain things to the audience that they want to gear this towards. You know, Netflix was able to take it and was very successful with it. They have changed what it's like to be to what it's like to be called the home market. They are the ones that have almost single-handedly turned the home market into something that's respectable.
Sure, gosh, if they keep on this track, we'll have to change our rating system.
Yeah, man. And that'll be, let's say, it'll be better than sex and Netflix.
And then full price.
Yeah, depending on what path you take. But I am amazed by what Netflix is doing. And this whole thing by doing the interactive movies just shows that they are really saying that while everybody's trying to make good shows, they're trying to make good shows and also see the potential of what the home market offers people. Stuff you couldn't do in the theater before, now they're doing right there. And I really admire Netflix for everything that they've done lately. I remember a time, boy.
I remember time
probably about 2 years ago. They would have said, "Oh hell yes, this movie." Bitch, we Netflix. We don't want that silly shit. They can say that today.
But you got Adam Sandler's whole catalog.
That was Martin. I said 2 years ago. They about to kick his ass out. Shit, there's an art theater somewhere in town right now. The employees are talking about, where's the manager? He at home watching Netflix. Netflix is, in my opinion, is doing very amazing things.
Sure.
And I just want to just say
it's an exciting time.
It really is. It really is. And I'm looking to see what they will do with it. I think right now, while sure, all these streaming services are going to be huge. Disney's going to be huge. HBO's already huge, but they could look at Netflix as a model of how to go forward as far as experimenting in very successful ways. You know, not ways that are that failed because that was an experiment. No, we got money to fuck around with, and guess what? We made money. So,
yeah, they might want to air Double Toasted.
Oh, mother of
that was just the white version of Double Toasted.
If we didn't take them, what would we take you?